What is up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again. Guys, we have a 2001 Kevin Harvick Busch Series Champion Diecast in the studio today. This is a very cool piece indeed. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, folks, rotating base out of the studio, and here is a closer look at this diecast. So there's a little bit of a, confusion with this one. Why? This right here. I have no idea why the date on there shows either 2007 December 1st or what is it? Would be the 1st? No, 2001 July 12th, something like that. This is a car that was released in very, very late 2001 or probably decently early 2002. If I had to honestly guess, probably March, give or take 2002, because this is the 2001 Busch Series Champion car. So if it can't be 07, 12, 01 or whatever, it can't be 2001 because this car was still running trying to win the championship. So I find that a little bit interesting. I have no idea the backstory to the little sales tag there, but I thought that was kind of interesting. So anyways, this one does say 2002 right here. So as I mentioned, it's a 2002 release, but it's a 2001 car. So you have this collectible little sticker here that you can put on like glass windows or whatever. It's a really cool photo shot of the Kevin Harvick winning either the championship or winning a race. Either way, look at that burnout. And the thing is, he was amazing at burnouts, man. And I think Kyle Larson kind of picked up on it because he's the new burnout king of NASCAR, in my opinion. So you have the bubble dome where the car is, and there's nothing really else that talks about the championship. As I usually say, this is a overproduced car, so I ain't worried about opening it up. They've made plenty of these. Trust me. They have a 2-pack set of this car, right? I don't know if it's the hood open one or it's just the kind of an elite version of it. Anyways, they made over 30,000 of that set. It was the Rookie of the Year for the Busch Series and the Rookie of the Year for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. So it was a 2-car set, had his 29 and the 2-car. 30,000 of that set was produced. That's what I'm talking about. Very overproduced car. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. All right, folks, brand new out of the diecast package, and what a awesome paint scheme this is. A lot of people remember this paint scheme actually being with Dale Earnhardt Jr. when he won the championship in, 99 and 98, I think. He won the championship in the Acdelco 3 car, and then naturally Kevin Harvick a few years later would go on to win that. If my math is mathing, that's 3 out of 4 years Acdelco won the Busch championship. I could be tripping on that. So one thing I like to look at for a lot of these older diecasts, I mean, this thing was factory produced 23 years ago. My goodness, I feel old. The plastic is in remarkable shape for a diecast that came out of the factory 23 years ago. I don't see any heavy, damage. Like this looks more like a factory error. That's not an aging error. It looks like something maybe they dropped it or scratched it. The little plastic, I don't know what you call it, the plastic insert piece on the card back, it just had maybe like 5% yellowing, I noticed, so I'm not really sure how this card was stored. The card back's in actually really good shape, so I'm thinking it's just natural aging of it, who knows. So you got Sylvania, Acdelco Automotive Parts. You go to the front of the diecast. Now this is the original early 2000s Monte Carlo mold. This is not the same diecast mold you're used to with like the Jimmy Johnson 2001 NASCAR Classics release, 2002 Jeff Gordon race win for Bristol, stuff like that. This is a much more bulkier diecast mold, a lot similar to the what do you call it, the restrictor plate style back then. Let's get Monte Carlo right there at number 2. Now, the striping on the front of the car actually looks really interesting because it almost looks like it's hand-painted on. I don't think it is. I think they just kind of tucked it underneath there, and it's a little sloppy, so it looks hand-painted on. The white on the car, I do think, is painted because you can see a little bit of a mist right here around the edges. So what this probably is they have some sort of a template or something, maybe like a piece of wood or a piece of metal that they shield it, and then they airbrush it on. Something like that, I'm assuming. Got the number 2. Got Union 76, Clevite, Simpson, Edelbrock. Go to the left side of the diecast. Now, one thing that kind of does bug me, and then this is something that was very common back then with the Winter Circle diecast, just any 2000s diecast really, is the door number sizes. The door number on this is drastically smaller. Look at the side panel there, right? Look how large the number 2 is on the door compared to the side window. And then you look at it like that. So I would say the real car door number is probably 20 to 30% larger on the car. So that's something that irks me. But it was so common back then. The paint schemes were getting made so early. I mean, so early. They were going to make this diecast probably regardless if Kevin Harvick drove a Winston Cup car in 2001 or not. Why? Because they made almost all the Busch Series drivers. So if it goes out there and wins, or at least gets a top 5 running the points, because obviously running the Winston Cup definitely helped them. This is back in a time of the sport where Cup cars and Busch cars were essentially the same thing. The Busch Series got the handy-down equipment, but it was the same chassis, the same body style, X, Y, and Z. I mean, literally, to drive this point home even further, in 2003, the Cup Series got a brand new Chevrolet mold, right? Or I say mold, but body style. They took this body style and run it in the Busch races in 2003. So the Cup cars got the new shiny one. They took the 2002 body style. So they literally used the same equipment. It's still like that today, but it's a lot more different. They're basically recycling the Gen 6 and the COT era chassis for the most part. Obviously, Gen 7, it's not going to work too well on an Xfinity car. Down the road, they'll probably find some way of, making the Gen 7 chassis run in the lower series. Got Goodyear, got your, well, it's like a goofed up Busch Series logo. They blurred it out, obviously, because, it's not a alcoholic base diecast, even though there is 2 pegs to put an alcoholic base on there. But you know what it is. The Busch Series got all kinds of retro 2000 sponsors. Very, very cool. Acdelco, Sylvania, got We Care, Snap-on, good wrench service. I think that logo's a little bit off-center. This side's a little bit more centered because there's a cutout on the stripe and it's supposed to be in the middle. I'm not really sure what's going on here with that little jack post marking. I think it's supposed to be a Chevy bow tie. I could be tripping on that. Number 2, Kevin Harvick there. Get your B post decal. Go to the back end of the car. Love these 02 Monte Carlos, man. As much as I played NASCAR Thunder 2003, just seeing the back ends of these Monte Carlos, man, just so nostalgic. And I've said this a lot on the channel, and I'll say it again. If you look at a production 2002 Monte Carlo and then you look at a Winston Cup car Monte Carlo, the car models are so similar, it's insane. Like, I cannot look at a production car, early 2000s Chevy Monte Carlo, and be like, oh, that doesn't look like a NASCAR. I'm just keeping it real. That's back in the days where the production team would try to make cars that look, or I'd say they would perform better on the racetrack. So they would make cars that were intentionally aerodynamic, not for fuel economy, not for efficiency, but simply so they could win more in NASCAR and get their brand out there. Nowadays, it's the reverse strategy. The NASCAR, OEMs are trying to make a body style that represents the production car. It's not the other way around, if that made any sense. Acdelco.com there. Number 2, I'm not sure what that decal is there. It's a little blurry. Maybe it's Sylvania. Got Chevrolet bow tie. Go to the right side of the diecast. I don't think Kevin Harvick ever ran a throwback to this paint scheme, which is kind of weird because he won a Busch championship in it. Dale Jr. did, though. He ran a Busch Series championship. And he ran, it was 2017 or 2016, he ran a throwback paint scheme to it. Go to the top of the diecast, got the number 2 once again, and Sylvania right there on the deck lid. What an incredible diecast. And yes, like I said, this is an overproduced car, so maybe you're a younger NASCAR fan, you never got one of these. There's so many of these out there, fellas. You can buy them, get them, whatever you want, pick them up, go to the racetracks, they might have them there. There's a lot of these floating around, so don't worry about it if you want to open them up. This one comes with a really cool collectible sticker here. Obviously, I wouldn't peel it off this because this was printed 23 years ago. Let's just be honest. It might not even stick. You might tear it. You never know. It says intended for use on glass surfaces only. I think it looks cool like this, like a little trading card, if you will. Got Kevin Harvick's signature. Naturally, they covered up the Busch logo. This is back when it's called the Busch Grand National Division. I love the front ends on these early 2000s Monte Carlos, man. They look a lot more realistic. The new updated mold they did. Like, look at the front end. Look how flat and bulky that is. That looks so much like a plate body nose. And then you can see this, how like it's a little bit more sloped out. When they updated the tooling and they started making the early 2000s Jeff Gordon wins, it is so much more realistic to this. Even Kevin Harvick's 2001 Atlanta win that was produced in, early 2024 has that new mold. It's fantastic. Acdelco #2. Fantastic stuff. Thank you all for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. For all your new NASCAR Diecast shopping, make sure to tap it over there at Circle B Diecast. Use promo code Diecastbuffet. You can help support the channel. And hey, you could save on shipping. Tap in. Details down in the description. Diecastbuffet. Signing off.